Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Nills to Bills, a series where I start from 0 items, 0 cash, and attempt to work towards 5 bill. So picking off where we left off way back, last time I showed you that I got a 110 mil split on a 7-man singularity split from Virago. But what I didn't show you was what the Tectonic energies were worth, because even if not every single kill is a unique item for a split, Virago does always give Tectonic energies, which are still worth a decent amount. So around the time I got the singularity split, I believe Tectonics were going up at the time. They were around 2 mil each, which I should have sold it then, because when I did decide to sell it, it fell down to about 1 mil each. So I messed up really hard there. I missed out on an extra 217 mil worth of earned cash, and well, that was kind of a gamble I was making at the time. I was hoping it would go up to like 2.5 or 3 mil each and sell it then, but I ended up losing out on that bet, and yeah. I mean, 217 mil is still not bad, but I could have had like 434 mil if I just sold it then, or even more, closer to 500 mil if it actually kept going up and I sold it. But, oh well. That was the energies I had saved up from previous Virago kills. That's why I had so much. But, okay, that's enough of Virago for now. Still 217 mil, pretty good. Now, next thing I wanted to try out on release was the Rise of the Six, or basically Barrow's hard mode. So in preparation for that, I purchased the Chaotic Staff, which it's an alright staff. It's level 80 two-handed. It beats my level 71, so it's still kind of an upgrade. The other option would have been to go for the Virtus Wand and the Virtus Book. Those are level 80 as well, but that would actually cost quite a bit at the time. Like sure, with the additional 217 mil I made from selling Tectonic energies, I could easily afford it, but my general rule for upgrading whatever weapon or gear I have is that I need to have a backup plan, because say I do spend all my money going into the Virtus Wand and Virtus Book, and then the Rise of the 6 items quickly fall down in value on day of release, I would lose out on like 30-50 mil depending on when I would sell it. So that'd be a pretty risky gamble, so I decided to go with the safer approach and purchase a Chaotic Staff. And then consider purchasing a Virtus Wand and Virtus Book if I continue to make money. So lately, it seems the trend of new bosses tend to just be ones that are high HP damage soakers who have a dodgeable near one-hit ability, or multiple of those, which sounds easy enough to fight, right? Once you learn its moves, it should be quite easy. It'll still require practice to get used to, but the whole challenge is to just avoid the one-hit abilities while doing damage yourself. And that's what I love about Rise of the Six. Its only difficulty is knowing each unique attack. Once you know those, it's easy to do. A lot easier compared to like Virago. Virago is kind of the same as Rise of the Six. Just like Rise of the Six, Virago is easy once you know its combat mechanics. But at Virago, your gear is still pretty important. On the last phase of Virago, you still need to be able to do enough damage to push it back, or it's just gonna kill you. Whereas at Rise of the Six, as long as you don't burn through all your food, it's still easy enough to finish up, even with like level 80 weapons. A lot easier than if you were to bring them to like Virago. The trade-off is learning to react to the attacks and possibly finding people to actually do the boss with. People who won't die every single kill. If you find 3 friends that are fairly capable of learning, then this would probably be one of the best bosses to do. Because there's no kill count, getting to the boss is pretty easy, and it only requires like 4 people total, whereas Virago you need like 5 people with decent gear to even kill the boss. With Rise of the 6, level 80 gear is fine. It'll be a little hard to do with lower level gear, of course, but it's very possible. But be ready to lose like several hours learning the new boss. Well, you can say that about any boss, but if you can get past that, if you can get to the point where you have like 4 people who could consistently do the boss, then that's all you need. It's a really nice boss since its special abilities can easily be avoided and their basic attacks are pretty negligible. Like, you could use sharks and a beast of burden like I do in most of my kills, and as long as there's good communication between you and your teammates, you should do fine with level 80 weapons, as long as you get the kill on the first try. If it heals, then you might run out of food if you're using level 80 weapons. It depends how many abilities you dodged. If you miss quite a bit, like if you got hit by quite a bit of them, then you might not be able to make the kill, considering that you're using level 80 weapons and not something like seismics. But from my experience, as long as you can survive up to the point where you need to start killing one of the 6 brothers within 30 seconds of each other, or else they will regenerate, if you can survive up to that point, then 80% of the time you can get the kill pretty easy, even with level 80 weapon. But it's this part that might require some communication, because to defeat the 6 brothers, you must kill one within 30 seconds of killing another, and you have to do this for all 6 brothers. And when you kill one brother, the remaining brothers that are still alive will heal for 5k HP each time. So the last brother that you kill will have healed for 25k HP. And if you only have like level 80 weapons, you may need to communicate with your team on the other half of the room if you need more time to deal more damage, so that you can get your side done. Also, when seconds matter, peer-to-peer communication helps a lot, such as TeamSpeak or Skype, both those work. But anyway, so just like Green Dragons, Virago and Rise of the Six have a 100% drop. Virago drops Tectonic energies, and Rise of the Six drops Malevolent energy. So just like Virago, even if not every single kill was a Kite shield, I don't think I actually got a Kite shield for myself yet. But I still make quite a bit for just participating in kills. It helped that Malevolent Energies also built into a very cool mini barrel spec that this helped the prices a lot on their release to make them reasonably valuable. Now what I decided to do was, after each kill, I would take the energies from my team and sell them at a higher price. Because if I just dumped them in the Grand Exchange or let somebody else do it, I don't think they would have... I think they would have just sold it at whatever it instantly sold, but I decided to take the extra time to sell it a little higher than instant, so that as a team we would overall make a little more money, and it was well worth it. Now, I handled a lot of energies, as you can see from my Grand Exchange history. This is all from one trip. Well, when I say one trip, it's like a session where I go with a specific team, and at the end of the trip is when the team disbands and we do the splits. That's what I mean by one trip. And kills would be on average around 10 minutes or under. So day of release, without counting unique drops, even with the lost kills, it was well above 10-20 mil per hour just from energies alone. And a little more than that, considering I sold energies like close to a mil above instant. Then on top of that, there are the normal drops. So their release and the following week, I made quite a bit. I believe even now it's still one of the best bosses to do, mainly because it's easy to start up, only requires 4 people, and kills are between 5 to 10 minutes. Of course, again, it requires good teamwork. If you have that part down, then it's definitely the best boss to do. Okay, that was a lot of talking. Okay, so skip forward a couple of days after release. I believe it was our 24th kill. We do get a Vengeful Kite Shield. Awesome! Except for the fact that the unique drop being Kite Shields from this boss, along with the energies that make level 90 power gear, as well as the mini barrels pet, but mostly Kite Shields, makes this a little weird, because honestly, shields don't really have a good place in the EOC right now. What I mean by that is that in almost every single case, damage is almost always better. Say, for example, the Caliphate King. You probably won't be using a shield outside of absorbing the bite or using Rejuvenate. Same kind of goes for the God of War's General, where the only time you would use a shield is to maybe heal yourself on the rare occasion with Rejuvenate, but even then, after you're done healing, you would just switch back to the offhand and continue doing damage. But okay, those aren't really the harder bosses in recent history. What about something hard like Virago, which I did last episode, where I was mage tanking? In my opinion, having a spirit shield like Arcane would still be better than having a level 90 shield because of the passive damage mitigation you get from the Arcane spirit shield. Because it reduces the incoming damage, it drains it from your prayer, but then it does save you more food. A lot better than just an HP shield with a lot of armor to it. I was really bummed out that there was no passive added to the shield. Nothing special to make people reconsider about using them. which would probably explain the current price of the item. Like right now, if you look on the Grand Exchange, probably under 100 mil. So it's a good thing I was able to sell the shield quite early. Ish. This was still a couple days after release, and obviously people already figured out that since there's nothing special about the shield, there really is no reason for it to be even close to a couple 100 mil each. So it proceeded to drop rather quickly. So the shield did eventually sell for 236 mil. Since this is a format only boss, the split was somewhere around 59 mil, but then add the energies and it's around 62 mil each. So for this episode, I made 217 mil from energies at Virago. On top of that, I made around 100 mil from Resident 6. There was the 32 mil I showed earlier on top of the 62 mil just now. And don't forget basic drops on top of a few smaller splits I didn't get to show this episode. So that's a total of around 417 mil made. So yeah, that's quite a bit. So until next time, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.